Scatoosh. Joey Moss, Bad Boy Gaming, my ninjas. We have ourselves a new secret lair. This one was just flopped on us 5 hours ago, not too long ago. Prices, we're going to get into all that. The cards, we're going to discuss all them. We're going to show them. We're going to show the prices of the original cards, what they're worth, and if this one's worth purchasing. As you know, the last time I did one of these videos, I was very displeased with what I saw. Saw a lot of commons, uncommons that were just not really worth purchasing. I, for the first time, did not purchase, second time, did not purchase a secret lair because I was so dissatisfied. This one, however, I have some interest in, and it goes on sale in, I think, 10 days, 9 days, roughly, for a 24-hour period, just one day. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Showcase Zendikar Revisited Secret Lair. Yes. This one has, it's kind of like a wacky mold to it, because on one hand you have landfall, but then on the other hand you have stuff that it's like, why is that in there? Like, really, why is that in there? But then you can kind of draw some conclusions, rhyme or reason as to why. Let's get up into it. So the first card we have, Admonition Angel. Beautiful art. The new art just annihilates the old art. I'm going to say that right now. 6-drop in Mythic. So unlike the past landfalls, we have ourselves Mythic and Rare, unlike uncommons as before. Not happy with those past ones. I'm gonna try not to talk about it again, okay? But it really does irk me, just like that fruit fly right there. All right, so moving along, we have ourselves Admonition Angel. No edits here on Bad Boy Gaming. 6-drop, flying landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may exile target non-land permanent other than Admonition Angel. When Admonition Angel leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under their owner's control. Very slick card. By the way, we're also going to be announcing who's taking home these beautiful mocks, and a secret little surprise in there we're going to get to at the end of the video from a video that dropped over the weekend. So Admonition Angel, yeah, absolutely awesome art on this new card. I think the artwork alone was enough for me to purchase. Just as one art. Call me crazy, okay? But art is the reason I got into Magic. You guys have heard me talk about this before. But it is the reason I got into Magic. It was an eye-opener. I'm like, whoa, that's some crazy stuff right there. I had no idea about the game. I just saw some pieces of art, and I was interested. So here's it's a 6/6. Here's what we got here. Beautiful card. The art alone sold. The whole sword in the sky, that's cool. Actually, I have an angel on my back. I have a tattooed angel on my back, which is stabbing me with a sword into my spine with its wings spread, wearing medieval armor. Downside is, and I'm not afraid to admit this, I do want to get it redone, because when I had the angel done, the artist who did it, the tattoo guy, I'm not fond of the results. It came out very cartoonish-like. Like anime, nothing against that, but that's not what I was hoping would be on my back. I also asked for a few other things, and he neglected to include them. I don't know. Maybe he was doing something else. But yeah, not satisfied with it. So I'm going to get it redone. Maybe something like this I'll throw on my back, because that is pretty awesome. And instead of stabbing me in the back, it'll just be, Haru, I'm the Almighty, just going to town. I like this. This is a card that's worth putting into a secret lair. It's worth purchasing. The price on this we'll get to in just a moment. Next, we have our Royal Elemental. Been printed before in Zendikar. The Royal Elemental is a 6-drop, just like the Angel. Okay, Elemental. This one's nuts. For those of you newer to the game, this is going to seem just like, wow, that is overpowering. It's a 3/2 with flying, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain control of target creature for as long as you control a Royal Elemental. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, it's 6 to bring out, but once this thing it resolves and is on the field, if you play a land, whenever you play a land, let's say you play 2 lands in one turn, you're able to steal a creature, 2 creatures, if you play 2 lands that turn, from your opponent and put them on the battlefield under your control. The huge downside of this card, I mean, you need to protect it. So counter spells or something like that, or hexproof, or something you can throw on this thing and just protect it. I'm sure this sees more play in like Commander and whatnot. Modern, I don't think it ever had a chance. During its standard, it was probably in some control builds. I would not doubt it, like a 2 or 3 of or something like that. Maybe a 4 of, who knows? Look what Agent of Treachery did. But Agent of Treachery is on a whole nother level, because the downside, once they destroy this thing, and it's only 2 toughness, let's say they shock it, a 1-drop can just stop all this from happening. You spent 6 mana, someone casts a shock, that's it. You're done for, okay? All their, any creatures you stole, let's say you stole 2 creatures, they're going back to the other side of the field right after that, Not the most impressive with the toughness there, but the ability on this card, like if this was like some kind of whacked out enchantment, you could even make this like an 8 or 10 mana enchantment with all that, with all these abilities, or the ability to steal your opponent's creatures. And then if you were to lose, the enchantment, then yeah, your opponent gets them all back. But it'd be a lot more difficult to get rid of it. That's probably why it's a card now on a creature 3/2, because that power, that ability alone is just stupid good. It's not busted, but it's really powerful. It'd be busted if it was probably on an enchantment for 6. Then you'd see a lot of people at pitchforks complaining. But yeah, an older card, really sweet. The new art, it's cool. I'm not sure which one I like more. The thing I do enjoy more about these cards is the showcase art. The frame, how they have it, that looks really cool. And on top of that, it's just more vibrant, period. The Zendikar block, for whatever, or the first Zendikar, for whatever reason, there was a lot of fading going on. I'm sure you guys can see this. Maybe not fading, but it was like dull. I think dull is a better word, not fading, but it was very dull in comparison to some of the newer cards that are printed. And I noticed this instantly just when I was grabbing the images and loading them. I'm like, wow, that kind of seems dull. Maybe I should like enhance it or something, And you'll see that again in just a moment with a couple other cards. But very, very sweet cards, sweet ability, just easy to get rid of. So you have to protect it. But man, that's just obnoxious how the landfall triggers that. All right, then we have ourselves something that's kind of out of place, which is a Zulaport Cutthroat. 96 cents. That's it. I know, it's uncommon. No landfall on this, but it does have Rogue, and Rogue is kind of one of those things in the party with the new Zendikar Rising. So I'm sure that's where they get off putting this card in here, but a very highly played card nonetheless. Whenever a Cutthroat or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yeah, that's amazing. It's a human, it's a rogue, it's also an ally. So this thing serves a lot of purpose. I do like the older art better than the new art, hands down. If I'm wrong, do you guys agree? What are your thoughts on that? I don't know. I like the older art. I think the older art's really cool. Only downside is that older art, it doesn't look like that sword's gonna do much. It doesn't look sharp. Where this looks sharp, that's a nasty battle axe or something, and he's gonna rip you a new one. Where this new art, or the old art on the sword here, it's rounded. It doesn't look like it would do a whole lot. Like, yeah, okay, hit me with that, man. Was that made of plastic? So I like the axe, giving off the appearance that I'm in danger. That's pretty cool. Also, the upgrade, it's a rare now they threw on here, as opposed to an uncommon. And this is not the original card for darn sure. As you see 2020 on here. This is one of the reprints. It was reprinted not long ago. Yeah, very recently. But however, I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn on this one. 96 pennies. I'm not really torn. I think it's a great inclusion. So far, we have a lot of value in this set. A lot of value. Moving forward, let's get into more value. The original OG from Zendikar, Avenger of Zendikar. This one's nasty, 7-drop. And the art on the new one's awesome, but again, you see the dullness on the old version of the card, or the original version. But the ability on this is just, it's insane. It's a 7-drop, 5/5. When Avenger of Zendikar enters the battlefield, put a 0/1 green plant creature token out of the battlefield for each land you control. Well, by the time you cast this, let's assume you didn't ramp at all. Let's just say that. You have 7 lands on the battlefield. So now you have 7/0/1 plants out. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. You could just imagine how quickly your board will go wide, you know? Not just wide, but tall. You're going tall, you're going wide initially, and then you're going tall afterwards with the +1/+1 counters every time you drop a land. So really, really cool. He sees a lot of playing your EDH decks and whatnot, but Avenger of Zendikar, the new art on it is just breathtaking. It's a coin toss what I like more. Now, there has been a promo version and some other versions of this card, but this one, I think, that takes the cake, man. The showcase art that they're doing here in this new Zendikar Rising is just really, really cool. I'm a huge fan of it. Again, you can, one more time, you can get these in foil or you can get these in regular, and we'll discuss prices in just a moment. Cliffhanger, my friends, but wow, really, really sweet. This one is just kind of out there. Goblin Berserker, Warren Instigator, Deuce Drop. OG version, $8.73. 2 red, double strike on a 1/1. Whenever Warren Instigator deals damage to an opponent, you may put a goblin creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If this thing goes unanswered, I mean, it'd be cool to pump this, you know, like with some lords, some goblin lords, you know, all goblins get +1/+1 and whatnot. You know, just making that double strike a bit more, boom, impactful. As you guys know, double strike, it acts like a first strike. The very first hit is like a first strike, and then the second one, you know, is your second hit. But just really nasty. So if they're blocking with a 2/2, let's say you pump this up, it's a 2/2 because of your lord on the field. You swing in, guess what, pal? They're blocking with their 2/2. That thing just dies. Your freaking Instigator lives on. Only downside with double strike, if it doesn't have trample, man, like that Embercleave, that sweet, sweet Embercleave, that other damage just doesn't really go anywhere, you know? Now, this can take down a 4/4, because at first strike, boom, it would hit, and then your second 2/2 attack or your 2 power, you know, would hit again, and you would take down a 4/4. That's pretty legit. The new art on it, I like. I'm trying to think of something I don't like about the card, other than it just really doesn't fit in this set. I guess maybe because it's from the set, you know. Goblins are a thing here. Very similar art, and I think they almost had to do that because there was a lot of love for Warren Instigator. So it's not like they changed a whole lot about it. I mean, he's in the same position. He's running the exact same way. They just kind of enhanced it, made it more sharp, less dull, and threw it onto a card. So there you have it. $8.73. Yeah, the prices, because they're getting reprinted, are going to tank on this. Not tank, but, you know, maybe $6. It'll probably drop to $6 when all is said and done on the OG version. The foil, the non-foil, we're going to get to in one moment. But first, $29.99 plus shipping, plus tax. If you spend over $100, if you're a whale, you spend over $100, they do include free shipping, so it's a plus. The foil, if you want to get a foil of all these, $39.99. I really want to see the figures. I want to see the numbers for how many foils were sold and how many regulars were sold. I would love to know that. Whichever one's less, I'll buy more of those, you know, because that's the more rare one. I think a lot of people are just in their own mind like, wow, foil? I'm just going to go pick up, you know, nothing but foil copies for an extra $10. And I think the regular is getting left behind. And this is something new they started two secret layers ago. So that's something to think about when it comes to value, because then the foils, they're not even going to be, they won't be worth that much compared to the regulars. Whichever gets printed more, whichever they sell more of, you know. So that is something really weird, because it's allowing the customer to determine the market. I mean, it's nuts, you know, when you think about it. Let's say only 2 people, this is not going to happen, hypothetically. 10,000 people buy all the foils. Okay, they buy a foil, $39.99. They get all the cards. 2 people buy the regular. Do you know the price of the regular? It would be insanity, man. It would go through the roof, but that's some information we don't know. And it's also kind of shady at the same time, because Wizards of the Coast employees will know that information. And at the end of the day, they might just pick up some copies for themselves of the lesser printed one. Scandalous. I know. So that is it. The Secret Lair, the new one. What are your thoughts? I know what I think. Okay, so this is the Mox Tantalite that we are going to be, that I'm giving out. I asked a simple question. Tell me your favorite artifact. That was it. I said I'd pick someone at random. They're going to not only take home the Mox Tantalite, but also the foil I pulled in that video of the Slumbering Isle. Only printed once in foil. That is correct. And I have it right here. And it's going out to one individual. And that person is none other than MK. Congrats, man. He said the rack is definitely my choice for artifact. Share this video on Twitter. I appreciate that. The shares go a long way for the channel. So thank you so much, guys. And I know out there in the community, Joey Moss gets some hate. He's different, man. He's out there. He's wacky. But just remember, you're a little wacky too. You're a little different. But mostly, I'm just really weird. So, MK, make sure you message me, my dude. Mossberg Swerve, MOSBERGSWERVE at gmail.com. I'm going to get this out to you. I need your full name, address, and what you won. That's all you got to do when you message me, and I will make sure this gets out to you. Skadink, skadank, skadoosh bags. Thank you for tuning in. Skadink.